My talk today is about the future of innovation and education in Africa. The future of Africa is bright, very bright, if and only if we rethink education. Because education is the weapon with which we can use to change the world. And that is a big statement. Because regardless of what you do, education is solid, productive education is the foundation for everything. Whether we are talking about the agrarian economy, the industrial economy, the information economy, or the fourth industrial revolution that is coming up. The future of innovation and education in Africa is bright. But there are lots of obstacles. Africa is one of the richest continents, but it contains the poorest people on earth. In all measures, economic, social, health, and the like. So something is wrong. Something is drastically wrong. How do countries or continents that have almost nothing in terms of natural resource compared to Africa, how have they propelled ahead? How are they now ahead of Africa? In the 60s, there was this big talk about Africa rising. In 2018, 2019, there was also talk about Africa rising. Africa has always been rising, but it has never taken off the ground. In the 60s, the economic theory, was that all Asian countries, they have a tough road ahead of them. Thank goodness for Africa. Africa has humongous resources. The era of colonization is over. With Africa's resources, fantastic weather, and energetic and creative people, the future of Africa is bright. Africa is the continent to look towards. Asia will have a tough road. Fast forward to 2021, Africa is far behind Asia, or any other continent for that matter. Asia has practically nothing compared to Africa. Why is this the case? The quality and value of education. While Africa sat satisfied with a colonial education system, other countries realized the value of education, real education. I'm not talking about education of just going through the motion of reading, writing, arithmetic, attending classes, and not knowing what you are doing, why you are doing what you are doing, for whom you are doing what you are doing. No analytical process in the system, process. Now, the other countries that have really invested in education have rethought education, because Asia also was colonized much as Africa was. But the key difference is that one community put a lot of importance and emphasis and rethought the educational system to serve their needs. We need to rethink our education system. When we rethink it, we must start with the purpose of our education system. Not by copying Cambridge, not by copying Oxford, not by copying MIT blindly. Yes, we need best practices. We need to know what these institutions do for them to be where they are, for them to be able to produce competent people, skilled people in science, in technology, in business, in law, in all the fields that matter. We need to do that. But we cannot do that blindly. We need to pause and rethink, why has the educational system that we have failed? It did not fail because of the people. Africans are very smart. I have been all over the world, and you know it. What has happened is our educational system, from primary school all the way to the universities, they take smart young Africans and put them through the rigor of incompetence, of rote learning, of memorization, of silence, of lack of critical thinking, and then churn them out. So by the time a smart fellow goes through that process of just sit, be quiet, listen, because I'm the boss, I'm the teacher, you don't know anything, I tell you what I want you to know, and I'm telling you useless things, telling you about Abraham Lincoln, telling you about Winston Churchill, talking to you about Speak, about Mungo Park, Stanley Livingston, and all these colonizing personalities. And never telling you about the history of the Dogon of Mali, that they are one of the best astronomers on Earth, even as we speak. Without the Hubble Space Station, they were able to map the universe, Sirius A, Sirius B stars, and their mastery of astronomy that they recorded 1,000 years ago was validated by the Hubble Space Telescope recently, and the world is marveling. How did these natives get this technology? It must have been given to them by aliens. They never tell you about the achievements of the Nubians, the master pyramid builders. You hear that the Arabs built the pyramid in Egypt. But a logical thinker would think there is no pyramid in Saudi Arabia, there's no pyramid in Jordan, not one in Syria, not one in any Arab country. But there are thousands of pyramids in Sudan today, and the Nubians ruled Egypt. And the face of the Sphinx in Egypt has the nose of an African, the features of an African, not the features of an Arab. That no society, no community ever built technology, the most advanced technology in another society. They always built it at home. Your education never told you that. Your education never told you that the first C-section was performed in Uganda. If I were to ask, and I have done this, many Ugandans, where was the first C-section performed? They have no clue. They will say UK, the US, China, any place on earth but Uganda. Science, technology, innovation, creativity is not based on age. It is not based on who is older. It is based on who has an active, imaginative mind. And that is what you need. It is based on people who are so inquisitive. What is out there in the stars? Why is that star blinking? How do we get from here to the moon? How do we get to Mars? What is beyond our planet? Those are the kinds of questions people ask. And a good educational system will help them to find the answers to those questions. A good educational system will have teachers who will say, my daughter, I don't know why this thing is that way. Let us try and find out. Let us look for knowledge on why these things happen. A bad one will say, shut up. Sit there, we are doing history now. You want to show the class that you know better than me. That's a bad education system. It shuts the child down. And it made you cram, 2 plus 2, 4. 3 plus 3, 6. Come exam time, 2 plus 2, 4. 3 plus 3, 6. Hey, good kid, you passed. But what does that mean? How do you apply it? How does 3 plus 3 become 6? All those are irrelevant. So we cannot count on that kind of education system for our future. We must rethink it. We must rethink it with one main question in mind. To what end? What is the purpose of education? Is it to acquire a zillion certificates So we can go out and say, introducing chief, doctor, professor, engineer, God knows what, FFD, CDA, BBD, whatever it is, and a big round of applause. But the engineer with all the titles cannot build a road. Is that the purpose? Is the purpose of our education to glorify other cultures and the achievement of others at the expense of our achievement? Our education does not teach us who we are. It does not glorify our achievements. Most Africans do not know who the Moors are, but the Moors are Africans who ruled Europe. You will not find that in European textbooks. African textbooks are full of colonial personalities. We glorify colonial personalities. We build edifices for them. We name schools after them, but not after us, because we do not know who we are. And the colonial education is purposely designed for you not to know who you are, so you can become proper natives and you can be colonized. The colonial power is bringing you civilization. It's bringing you new ways of thinking. Their ways of thinking. You forget about yours. That is not what our educational system should be. An outcome of a colonial education. Because the only jobs available then, or the only thing you can do, or the reason why you went to school is to go serve the colonial government as an administrator. Today, in the age of information technology, when we are looking forward to the fourth industrial revolution, you can create your own job. It's called a global village. You can sit in Kampala, you can sit in Nairobi, in Johannesburg, and be able to create a global market, create a product. So the future of Africa is bright, but we must rethink education. We can rethink it in a formal way and we can rethink it in an informal way. You as an African, what must you do to become aware of who you are? To become aware of the fact that education, not guesswork, is the basis on which we innovate. Africa can do it. I am confident it can. I will do my part, and I encourage you to do your part. This great continent can contribute immensely to our own welfare and to the welfare of others. I thank you.